Rule 1 of 12. Here is Rule 1 of 12. Did you know that 65% of travelers end up overpaying for basic hydration before they even board their flight? Take Liam, a 31-year-old software engineer from Seattle. He was standing in a long line at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, feeling parched and exhausted. He watched as the cashier rang up a single 20-ounce bottle of water for a staggering $6. It felt like a total scam. Liam was about to reach for his wallet when he remembered a crucial detail. Many major hubs like Seattle, SEA, are often expected to provide access to free drinking water under local health codes and building regulations. Stop. Here is the simple fix. Always pack an empty reusable bottle in your carry-on. Once you pass through the security checkpoint, do not head for the newsstand. Instead, look for dedicated hydration stations, which are frequently located near the restrooms. These stations are specifically designed to fill bottles with filtered, chilled water. If you cannot find one, walk into any airport bar and ask politely for a refill. Most bartenders are happy to help a traveler out. Liam followed this advice and realized he would have spent over $30 on water during his round-trip journey. That is money better spent on a real meal. While water is a basic necessity, finding a comfortable place to actually rest in a terminal is a much bigger challenge. Next, we are going to look at a secret way to navigate the terminal using a map most people ignore. Rule 2 of 12. Let's move on to Rule 2 of 12. You need to check your phone Wi-Fi settings the moment you sit down at your gate. Emma, a 25-year-old marketing analyst from Tampa, found herself stuck at gate F85 in Tampa International Airport at 4:15 p.m. Her flight was delayed, and she was trying to upload a high-stakes 25-megabyte presentation. Suddenly, her connection died. A pop-up appeared on her screen. It said her free session had ended and demanded $9.99 for more time. Emma panicked. This is what experts call digital friction. Airports sometimes limit free sessions to nudge travelers toward paid upgrades or expensive coffee shop purchases just to get a fresh login code. You can outsmart this timer. Go into your settings and toggle your private Wi-Fi address or randomize your MAC address. By rotating this digital signature, the network often perceives you as a brand new traveler, potentially granting you another free session. Another pro tip involves the layout of the airport itself. Wi-Fi signals from premium airline lounges frequently bleed through the walls and into the public hallways. If you stand near the lounge entrance, you might pick up a faster, more stable connection. Just remember that this isn't a magic bullet. Some advanced networks track browser cookies instead of device IDs, so clearing your cache might be necessary if the reset fails. Emma tried the reset, successfully sent her file, and saved $10. Connection secured. But finding a place to sleep is the real hurdle. The next secret reveals a hidden map for weary travelers. Rule 3 of 12. Now for Rule 3 of 12. Oliver, a 42-year-old architect from Boston, landed at Barcelona El Prat Airport after a grueling overnight flight. He was dragging 3 heavy suitcases that felt like they weighed 100 pounds each. He spotted a luggage cart terminal and saw the price. It was nearly $7 for a single cart. Oliver felt the stress of international travel mounting. Why should you pay for a cart when you have already spent thousands on airfare? Stop. Here is the fix that most travelers walk right past. Oliver ignored the expensive machines and walked toward the exit doors. Just 50 feet away, near the taxi stands and the entrance to the parking garage, he saw exactly what he needed. Dozens of carts were sitting there, completely abandoned. Travelers heading to their cars or taxis often leave their carts right at the curb. Oliver walked a few steps, grabbed a perfectly functional cart for free, and saved enough money for a decent espresso. In many large European hubs like Barcelona, BCN, these ghost carts are everywhere if you know where to look. It works in the majority of cases because the airport staff cannot clear them as fast as they are left behind. Oliver saved his money and his back, but he was still exhausted. Let's find a way to escape the noise. Rule 4 of 12. This is Rule 4 of 12. Have you ever felt that sudden jolt of panic when a TSA agent pulls your bag aside for a secondary inspection? For Sophia, a 29-year-old graphic designer at Houston, IAH, that panic was very real. She realized she had accidentally left an expensive 4.2-ounce bottle of designer shampoo in her carry-on. At most standard checkpoints, that is an automatic trip to the trash bin. She watched the bin slide toward the agent while her flight was set to board in 20 minutes. This liquid limit has been a headache for travelers since 2006. However, there is a major technological shift happening. By 2026, many experts believe this era of liquid restrictions will finally fade away. High-tech CT scanners are currently being installed in major hubs. These machines create highly detailed three-dimensional images, allowing agents to identify liquids without you having to remove them from your bag. In airports where these scanners are operational, the 3.4-ounce rule is often waived. Just keep in mind that the rollout takes time and varies by terminal. Sophia managed to make her flight, but she learned a valuable lesson about checking which security technology her terminal uses. Now, let's talk about how to hide from the massive crowds. The next secret reveals the best hidden zones for total silence. Rule 5 of 12. Rule 5 of 12 is something that 80% of international travelers miss entirely. Almost every major airport hides a sanctuary that costs exactly $0 to enter. Noah, a 37-year-old journalist, was reaching his breaking point at New York, JFK. His flight was delayed 5 hours, and Terminal 4 was a complete madhouse. Kids were screaming, and every seat was taken. The airport lounges were asking for a $65 entry fee that Noah just couldn't justify. He was sitting on the cold floor, his head spinning from the constant announcements. He felt completely overwhelmed. Stop. Most major hubs, including New York, JFK, feature multi-faith chapels or dedicated meditation rooms that are open 24 hours a day. These are strict, quiet zones. Noah found the chapel in Terminal 4 and walked inside. The change was instant. Total silence. There were no advertisements, no loud passengers, and no stress. Noah was able to sit in peace and catch his breath without spending a single dime. It is a vital resource for anyone needing to escape the sensory overload of a busy terminal. But peace of mind isn't the only thing you might be owed. The next tip reveals how you can turn a bad delay into a major financial payback. Rule 6 of 12. Moving to Rule 6 of 12. You can actually turn a boring layover into a free mini vacation. Take Ava, a 44-year-old librarian. She found herself stuck at Madrid-Barajas during an 8-hour layover. She was exhausted and tired of staring at the same departures board. She felt like the walls were closing in on her. Most travelers just sit and suffer through the boredom, but Ava decided to investigate her options. Here is the secret. If your layover exceeds 6 hours in certain international hubs, you might be eligible for a free guided city tour provided by the airport or the national carrier. Ava walked to the transit desk and discovered that she could join a tour. Within an hour, she was looking at the historic architecture of the city instead of a vending machine. While not every airport offers this, major transit centers like Madrid, MAD, or Seoul Incheon frequently do. A quick reality check. Always verify the transit visa requirements for your nationality before you plan to exit the airport. Ava did her research, saw the sights, and returned to the airport in time for her flight. She turned a miserable wait into a highlight of her trip. But what if you need to stay in the airport and actually get some sleep? Rule 7 of 12. Next up is Rule 7 of 12. Isabella, a 22-year-old graduate student, stepped off her connecting flight at Washington Reagan National, DCA, and saw the dreaded red text on the screen. Her next flight was delayed 10 hours. Her back ached, and the terminal felt like a pressure cooker. She saw high-tech sleep pods nearby, but they were charging $40 for just 2 hours of rest. Isabella almost pulled out her credit card. Stop. Do what she did instead. She bypassed the expensive kiosks and walked toward the far end of Terminal 2, near the quietest gates. Tucked away behind the standard seating areas, she found ergonomic recliners. Many hubs like Washington, DCA, or Denver, DEN, install these lounge chairs in low-traffic zones specifically for long-haul travelers. They are free, they are usually empty, and they are much more comfortable than a standard gate chair. Isabella spent 3 hours stretching out and actually napping without spending a cent. While these chairs aren't always guaranteed to be available during peak holiday seasons, checking the outskirts of the terminal is always better than suffering with a stiff neck in the main hall. Now that you have saved your back, let's look at how to find the hidden shortcuts that the pros use. Rule 8 of 12. Here is Rule 8 of 12. Do you ever feel like you are walking for miles just to find a decent place to sit or a clean restroom? Mia, a 53-year-old real estate agent, was sprinting through Nashville International Airport at 2:30 p.m. She was carrying a 40-pound bag and needed a quiet corner to make an important call. Nashville, BNA, felt like a maze of noise and construction. Mia checked the digital maps, but they were too cluttered to be helpful. Stop. Here is the ultimate navigation fix. Watch the flight crews. Pilots and flight attendants know the invisible shortcuts and the best hidden spots in every airport they frequent. They usually head to facilities near empty gates or secluded staff areas. Mia noticed a group of flight attendants turning down a nondescript hallway near Gate C2. She followed at a respectful distance and found exactly what she needed. It was a pristine restroom with no line and a small seating area with free, functional charging ports. Staff are often busy, so it is important to stay out of their way and be respectful of their space. However, observing their patterns is the fastest way to find the highest quality amenities in any terminal. Mia made her call, charged her phone, and reached her gate with zero stress. That was easy. But wait until you see how to handle the food situation when prices are sky high. Rule 9 of 12. Now for Rule 9 of 12. Airport restaurants often have to manage their inventory strictly, which leads to a lot of food being moved at the end of the night. Lucas, a 27-year-old sous chef, was stuck at Los Angeles International Airport after a 5-hour delay. He was starving, but a basic wrap at the terminal was priced at $24. He looked at his wallet and saw he only had $10 left. He was worried he would have to go hungry until his flight. Most airport food courts begin closing their doors around 10 p.m. This is when a window of opportunity opens. About 30 minutes before closing, local vendors often lower their prices to avoid tossing out fresh items. Lucas walked up to a sandwich stall at 9:45 p.m. He was polite and simply asked if they had any end-of-day discounts. The worker was happy to help and handed him 2 fresh food boxes for the price of 1. While this isn't a hard rule written in a manual, it is a frequent reality at non-chain kiosks where managers have more flexibility. Lucas saved $30 and had a great meal. It really pays to be the last person in line when the lights are about to go out. But saving on food is just the beginning. The next tip could save your entire travel budget. Rule 10 of 12. Rule 10 of 12 is about knowing when to demand your cash. Charlotte, a 36-year-old accountant, was heading home from Brussels when things went wrong. She reached the gate at 4:30 p.m., but the agent told her the flight was overbooked, and she didn't have a seat. Charlotte looked at her 50-pound suitcase and felt her blood pressure rise. The agent offered her a small meal voucher and a seat on a flight the next morning. Stop. This is not a dead end. If you are involuntarily bumped from a flight in the United States, Department of Transportation regulations, specifically 14 CFR, state that the airline may owe you significant compensation. Depending on the length of the delay, you could be entitled to up to $1,550 in cash. Do not settle for a cheap voucher or a travel credit that expires. Ask specifically for involuntary denied boarding compensation. Under these rules, airlines are often required to pay you on the spot via a check or an electronic transfer. Charlotte stayed calm, cited the policy, and walked away with a check that covered the cost of her entire trip. This only applies if you have a confirmed reservation and you did not volunteer to give up your seat. Now you have the edge. Rule 11 of 12. Let's look at Rule 11 of 12. Benjamin, a 58-year-old photographer, stood at the baggage carousel in San Francisco, SFO. He watched as the last suitcase disappeared, and the belt stopped moving. His expensive camera gear was in the bag that never arrived. Panic started to set in as he realized his equipment was gone. Stop. Do not leave the airport yet. While most people walk away in frustration, the professionals head straight to the airline's baggage office. Benjamin filed what is known as a Property Irregularity Report, or PIR. Under the Montreal Convention for International Flights and DOT rules for domestic ones, airlines are often responsible for reasonable expenses incurred due to delayed luggage. This can cover essential toiletries and even clothing if you are away from home. Benjamin asked for a comfort kit to get through the night and made sure to keep every single receipt for the items he had to buy. The airline is not an ATM, so you must justify your spending. But Benjamin eventually received $85 to cover his immediate needs. He got his bag 24 hours later, and his expenses were fully reimbursed. Always get everything in writing before you exit the terminal. Rule 12 of 12. Finally, we reach Rule 12 of 12. Do you ever find yourself sitting on a cold floor near a crowded gate, staring at those frosted glass lounge doors? Evelyn, a 49-year-old high school principal, was waiting at Newark, EWR, during a 5-hour layover. She desperately needed a shower and a quiet place to work. She assumed those luxury lounges were only for the elite travelers with $600 credit cards. Her feet were aching, and the $15 sandwich she bought was terrible. Stop. You might already have access to that luxury without even knowing it. Many premium credit cards offer memberships like Priority Pass as a hidden perk. Evelyn checked her banking app and discovered that her standard travel card actually included 2 free lounge visits per year. She also looked at apps like Lounge Buddy, which allow you to purchase a single-use pass for as little as $35. She walked into the lounge, grabbed a hot meal for $0, and used the shower facilities. It completely transformed her travel experience. Lounges can fill up fast, so it is always smart to check availability ahead of time. This is the final piece of the puzzle for a stress-free trip. Now you are prepared for anything the airport throws at you. Which of these rules shocked you the most? The airlines definitely don't want you to know these secrets, so hit that subscribe button to keep winning at the travel game.